into it. I mean,
But you
that's
did
why.
do a pretty
Yeah,
big update to it.
kind
You like did the 3 tiers. When it first came out, it was just the orange level, right? And then you separated it into sort of. So was there enough of a response to justify that in your minds? Sort of as an
we wanted to do
investment.
it. We actually wanted to do it. It was purely for our own sakes, really. We designed over 1,000 levels for Puck, and with the kind of mirroring that's in there as well, it works out as nearly 2,000 levels, unique levels. And the way the game works, obviously the levels are randomly generated, but they are generated based on patterns that we designed. So we ranked every level individually. We worked out a really clever ranking system where, depending on how many bounces you had on the walls, whether it was 2 bounces, 3 bounces, or whatever to hit a target, we did stuff like that to say, okay, that gives it a point. And we basically ended up with thousands of kind of individually ranked levels. And then we have a pattern system which says, okay, well this rank, this rank, this rank, and then next 10, this rank, this rank, this rank, and that kind of thing. So that's kind of how Puck works, isn't it?
The point is that was the reason we did the 3 levels is because most people only played a quarter of the levels that we made.
But so the majority of the ranks were like really hard.
Yeah, so we added an easy mode so more people play them, and more importantly, we added a hard mode so people could go in straight away and play all these levels which weren't getting played.
Yeah.
This is something, too, going back to what Charles had mentioned earlier about design language. I love the way you communicate in that game, sort of the differences. When you go to the hard level, it sort of wipes it black, and I don't know if this was an inspiration for you, but it instantly reminded me of the DVD menus for the DVD release of Fight Club back from '99 or whenever that came out. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
No,
the menus on that had that sort of glitchy, thing. And so, if you can find it, who watches DVDs anymore? But if you can find it, go look at it. It's very interesting to see how you were sort of but it fits. It communicated very, very clearly. I mean, how do you guys do internationally? Because I think that's the strength of yours, is that a lot of your design communication is visual as opposed to textual.
Yeah, well, with Puck, we made a couple of decisions early on. We wanted no text throughout the game, so there's only numbers and scoreboard names. That's it. There's no text at all in Puck, which is a really, we had no money, so we couldn't do any translations. So we were like, okay, well, let's go for graphic design magic and try and not have every ideal really, ideal scenario, and I guess, I mean, it did well. It did really well because of the kind of minimal look. And, people know it as the orange game, and we got a lot of complaints about that. People wanted it blue, and then, it would have been known as the blue game, which is really funny. But we did really well in, like, Sweden and Germany, Austria, Switzerland, a lot of sort of European countries where, minimalism sort of, I mean, Germany, it did really, really well, actually. Considering the kind of size of the marketplace, I think it's kind of leveled out with the UK. I think in terms of sales, and so it obviously appealed to those guys, which is cool. And I mean that's kind of centre of minimal design, Bauhaus and stuff like that. So yeah, it did really well from that point of view, and it was a really good kind of lesson for us in simplistic, minimal game design as well.
Would you consider going back and revisiting old games to like freshen them up and
Yeah, we've talked about it. I mean, we've talked about making a sequel to Puck. I think we always wanted to do a multiplayer version of Puck, which would be really cool. If we could make that work, I think that would be absolutely awesome. And we've been very close to making a really simple kind of almost Pong type 2-player 1-device game. I mean, we've had a few versions. We've probably spent about 4 months on iterations of a game like this, which have been, terrible and great at the same time. So, but yeah, I think if we were to return to a game like Puck, I don't think we would build on what we've already got. I think we'd look at it fresh and say, okay, well, let's see, and we'd only do it if we could really, justify it. If, for example, we could make, people the same feel of Puck. With Puck, but not Puck.
That's interesting. That's interesting. The game that we're cloning right now has, this is like the 3rd version of the game, And so Ed had pointed out that the developer had taken down the previous versions, and so you could only get version 3. So what I'm hearing from you guys is you wouldn't necessarily iterate on the same application and just push updates. You would want to come out with a whole separate version of it.
Depends, really. Like, we're probably going to push an update to Alone sometime soon when we've got more time. But I think with the size of our studio and the pressure on us that we've got to keep on releasing things. I think
that's partly pressure we put on ourselves.
Yeah,
isn't it? We want to keep releasing new stuff. We want to keep working on new stuff.
And also with Puck, my coding skill was not nearly as good back then as it is now. So I'm scared to open up the way I coded it.
I guess we could all
Spaghetti code, you once described it to me as well.
Yeah.
I think spaghetti code.
I don't say Puck anymore. I just say, the spaghetti code.
Yeah.
Somehow it works. It's all held together.
Ed, do you have some questions?
I do, but I wanted to say, now that we've alluded to it twice, don't worry. In a future episode, we will not say, hey, how'd they do that, and then remake your game. Don't worry about that. That's not going to happen.
We certainly won't make 700 levels, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm lucky to make 3 levels for the examples. I got 3 questions for you. I'm going to do them in reverse order, since we sort of moved along as I was thinking of these. Are you guys aware of the Amazon Underground program, and are you considering it? If so,
we're actually in it.
We're in it. Can we show this? Yeah. Sorry, we've got noisy traffic outside. We're actually on the Amazon Underground.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much we can talk about it. I think we signed
an NDA.
We signed an NDA, but we don't know I don't really know much about it. Kind of went over our heads a little bit.
I think we can probably talk about installs, I would imagine, and that's going pretty well. Amazon for us has been a relatively small marketplace so far.
Yeah.
And since being involved in this, it seems like we've got a lot of downloads. I mean, it's obviously brand new, so we've no idea what that's going to equate to in terms of revenue.
Well, we can definitely,
but it's certainly
we can definitely talk in general terms. I mean, Amazon has made an announcement that the program's available and developers can participate and stuff like that, and just. What do you guys think about that in general? I mean, you think it's good for developers or bad for developers?
It'd be interesting. The other devs that I've spoken to about this have kind of expressed concern that it might affect Android sales. As soon as I believe from what I've read, it's not that easy at the moment to actually get the Amazon Underground app sorted out and get apps on a sort of a non-Fire device, if you like, or a non-Fire device.
Can somebody briefly explain what this is?
You guys want to do it?
Go ahead, Ed.
Okay, Amazon Underground in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
You may have gotten an invite if you've got apps already. What they've done is reviewed apps that are on the Google Play Store, and they said this app uses in-app purchases or it is for sale. It's not a free game.
Mm-hmm.
Please come to our marketplace and give away everything that you were selling for free. And what we'll do is we will pay you 2/10 of a...
Comes out to be like 12 cents an hour.
Yeah, comes out to 12 cents an hour. That's what the publicly exposed numbers are for this currently. So they pay you based on how many minutes people have been playing your game. So if somebody plays your game for an hour, you get 12 cents from Amazon for that one person.
So essentially, yeah, Amazon's paying you. The customer's not paying for anything.
Right. So how is Amazon monetizing this? Or they just throw money away?
I have not the slightest idea.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think it's purely to get you in their marketplace, and I think to build their footprint versus Google Play. But there's got to be more to it than that. That's my simplistic view.
I think you're right. I think that's what they're looking for. They're looking for acquisition to the Amazon ecosphere, I think.